Welcome to enVisioning Success, the weekly podcast that's your prescription for business clarity. In today's episode, we're diving into the importance of professional development and how to effectively implement it within your team. Laura and Julia discuss how professional development isn't just about formal training, but can also include mentoring, reading, and listening to podcasts. Discover various avenues for professional growth, from LinkedIn to internal trainings, and learn the significance of aligning with your business's avatar and understanding different communication styles.
Welcome to enVisioning Success. I am your host, Laura DiBenedetto, joined by my co-host, Julia Becker-Collins. And this show is lovingly sponsored by Vision, celebrating our 25th anniversary of marketing success. And of course, if you would love some help or a free review of your marketing, you got it. Just go to vision-advertising.com, hit us up. Sign up for email as well, because if you like free stuff as much as I do, you're definitely going to want that one, because we're dropping knowledge all the time in there for free. So today we are talking about professional development. It's pretty cool. And last episode, we were talking about how to hire to make sure that there's good alignment with your avatar and your team. Today, we are focusing on, okay, they've been hired. Now what? How do we do the professional development? So before I go much further, I have to do housekeeping. Please like, subscribe, and rate and review and do all the things, because we need that. Because the show's
and
free.
Share
that,
also.
Man, there's a list. I gotta have like an opening thing of like, here's the to-do list. Thanks for listening. Now go do homework.
I know. It's like, you should just have a header that says, and here comes housekeeping.
I know, right? Oh, man. So anyway, the people are hired. Now they're in the door. We love them. We've got our staff. They're aligned in the values, and they're going to be a good fit for the avatar theoretically. Explain to me what you think professional development could be useful for to make sure there's a good meeting of the minds.
Yeah, I think people often overthink professional development. They think it has to be some kind of large workshop, conference, etc. When you first hire people, professional development can be as simple as spending an hour with somebody, really walking through who the company sells to and who the company serves, and answering questions, and then coming back and maybe doing some role playing and saying, okay, so 99.9% of our clients do this, and this is who we like to sell to, but we have this other client over here and they like to do it this way. It's really getting into the nitty gritty and making sure that hire, that employee, that team member understands how to communicate best with the avatar, how to meet their needs. For us, we tend to sell to people who are more bottom line up front, like you and I are, but that doesn't mean that the people that are on my team are in their own abilities or in their own minds bottom line up front, but they can and they absolutely were trained to communicate in that way. Our avatar also tends to like regular updates from us, so that they feel like, oh, I understand what's happening.
Like asking for it, they just want it delivered.
Correct. So that was definitely some professional development that I instituted with the team, saying, even if you know we are doing a lot of things and they're all behind the scenes and you told them we're doing all those things, you still need to send weekly updates just to make sure people understand what's happening. Mm-hmm. So it's training the staff to understand how to have the best and most productive and fruitful relationship with that client, and new potential clients as well. How, if you have staff that are external facing and sit in on sales meetings, what do you do in those meetings? How do you present the information? How much information do you present, etc.? It's really trying to give them the tools so they can do their job the best possible.
I like how you began that, actually. This whole time I've just been like chewing on that in my head. Most people really do make the assumption, and I used to, that professional development is something where you get course credits. You have to sit in a class and, or you got to sit through a webinar or whatever. And sometimes that is the case, but you're not always going to get continuing education credits. Sometimes it's as simple as just watching some videos on YouTube, like you're saying, getting training from your leadership team or whatever. Or actually just mentoring from the person that you report to,
Right.
or read a book. Damn it. That's professional development. Remember those dusty things?
Or, listening to podcasts. I'm just saying.
Nudge, nudge, hint, hint, wink, wink.
Right.
Julia, why do you put up with me? I'm such a dork.
I don't know. After 7 and something years, I'm still confused. But then again, you put up with me and my one-word answers, which was pointed out to us yesterday, which I thought was funny.
Yes. I'm the I'm the empathizer. You're the sociopath.
That was
claim to fame.
That was actually really funny when he was like, "Wow, so 10 sentences from Laura and 1 word from Julia," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Why do you think I do most of the talking on these shows? Because of blah, 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 blah. I love words.
That's fine.
Canceling meetings is your love language. Words are mine.
It's very true. I do love canceling meetings. Well, really, I love it when somebody cancels a meeting with me.
I know. I try to remember this and love you a lot. Well, thank you. Anyway, getting back on track about the professional development and like what that can look like. Can you give me some examples of some of the things that you've done with the team and perhaps other teams prior to joining our company beyond just mentoring, whatever? Like, where can people find professional development, and like, what are some good examples of how to get people on the same page?
Yeah. So finding the professional development in a more structured way definitely depends on what skill you're trying to have them learn. Is it a hard skill like learning how to do formulas in Excel, or are you trying to have them learn more of a soft skill about email etiquette or, management tools or managing up, down, and sideways, etc. So it could be as simple as looking on LinkedIn for professional development webinars that are being offered or conferences, etc. But it can also be that you have conversations with other people in your networking sphere, what has worked for them with their teams, what professional development opportunities have they sent their staff to that have been incredibly successful, learning from the people around you. But then in addition to that, you can set up those conversations if there's somebody in your sphere that you think would be a great resource for somebody on your staff to sit down and learn from. And I've done that in the past. We had somebody who previously worked at Vision that I would set up meetings between our staff members and her to better understand certain clients, to better understand the history on an account, to better understand how to communicate with a certain type of personality, etc. Sending articles to your staff that you think will help explain a certain kind of point. I just did that the other day with our staff, sending them something about, this is really technical, boring stuff, but about email verification changes that are coming with Google in the next few months. So that's more of a hard skill versus a soft skill. But you can also be setting up internal trainings, which I have done in the past at previous companies, where you set up a day of professional development and you say, okay, well, at 9 a.m. we're learning about this, and at 10 a.m., Director of Human Resources is coming in and she's going to explain this. And it's a whole day, an internal conference almost, where you're giving the staff a lot of knowledge over a day, and they get to interact with leadership in a way that maybe they wouldn't otherwise.
I think that's great. There's so many awesome tools out there. I remember once upon a time there was this website, lynda.com, Lynda. LinkedIn bought it. And now you can go to LinkedIn with one of their paid plans, and you can actually watch all this really awesome, like, learning material. And you can learn about like anything. It's cool. You get tons of great content on YouTube, of course. People sell courses for different things. And, I've got a woman on staff with one of my other companies, and she finds all these really neat courses all the time. She's like, oh, this one's like $100. Can I get it? Cool. I think one thing that is very helpful is when you cultivate a culture of curiosity with your team and encourage them. Hey, wouldn't it be really cool to like get paid to learn cool stuff? Like,
Right.
we're happy to invest in you. So, I think all the things that you said really make sense, and there's a lot of great tools out there, and frankly the sky's the limit when it comes to getting your avatar and your team member to talk to each other. In the last episode, we talked about how you can learn about things like disc styles or Myers-Briggs or Enneagrams. This is actually a wonderful thing that we would highly, highly recommend that you think about bringing onto your team. Is not just, oh, hey, here's your disc style and here's your Enneagram style. So, like, make them care. Give them texture and teach them why it matters, like the last episode I talked about how the disc style, just like that particular one, I mean, it's my favorite, so I'm going to talk about that one a lot. How it's really made a positive impact on my marriage. Well, if you can give someone transferable benefit that really just makes their life better, they're going to be more inclined to want to lean into the education, want it, and really, really gel with it. So if you can teach your team, I mean, you're not going to sit there and training professional development for your clients. That would be cool, but it's not going to happen. If you can teach about, hey, this is your style. These are your peers' styles. Which style do you think your partner is? And how can we actually apply what we know about these styles to help us to serve our clients better, and make it more of like a fun thing? I think that people are not really accustomed to thinking about how they communicate with other people. They just do it and hope it works out. Like I said in the last episode, it adds a layer of intentionality to it that can be fun, especially if you have someone on your team, and I've certainly hired these people before, who are a little socially awkward. Pro tip for you guys, if you want to get really, really great writers and data-driven people, sometimes the social skills tend to be a little flat, and that's fine, but giving them tools that they can use to help them communicate better is a win for their entire life. There's no downsides to this.
Agreed. And just as a quick aside, in terms of a tool that employers can be using, there's a site called Udemy or Udemy. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. It's udemy.com. It's $30 a month per user. So it's a very low barrier to entry. And you have access to unlimited courses. And there's a whole business section. So I'm looking at it right now: entrepreneurship, communication, management, sales, business strategy, operations, project management, business law, etc. So if you are being cost conscious, which I know a lot of companies are being these days, this is a great way to, add value for your staff, and they can take classes to help them be able to communicate with that avatar better, be more successful in their role, feel like they really understand things better, etc.
$30 a month, man.
Like, $30 a month.
Honestly,
I know.
Like, what a really, really low investment to make financially to get such a wicked high return. If you incentivize continuing education, or professional development, whatever we want to call it, and you make that like something that your team looks forward to, they're more likely to advance in their career, which benefits everybody. And it makes it more likely that they're going to do the work to actually align with the avatar. So question for you, Julia, like, what do you think that staff members and management should focus on in terms of aligning with the avatar?
Oof, that is a loaded question.
Pew,
Well, I'll start with saying that, communication styles, right? So we talked about this last episode. I will continue to beat this drum. How I communicate is not necessarily how you as an individual learn things. So while I might be bottom line up front, the client might need lots of detail, Or in another instance, as you had said to me about a long-term client I was struggling with, they are feelings first. They need to love you and get to know you as a human and spend 2 hours bullshitting. And then there's 10 minutes of business, which is pretty
there
much
goes
the
the
opposite.
E on this episode.
Yeah. Which is the opposite of how I would do business, but it's not about me, right? So it's about how they absorb
It's about the client.
Right. It's how they absorb information. It's how they build trust. It's about how they communicate. You and I have been talking about this for years, that everybody goes around talking about the golden rule, and it's not the golden rule. It's the platinum rule. So it's not treat others as you wish to be treated. It's treat others as how they would wish to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing goes in communication. And, to dovetail off of that, what communication method do they like? And that's a question we ask in onboarding with our clients. Some people want email because they need to absorb it and read it, or maybe they're only doing email off hours and they are going to have time to read it, etc. For whatever reason. Maybe they're somebody who absorbs best through written communication. That's great. Then we will email you until your inbox is full. But some people really need to be text messaged, which is me, or told by text message to read their email, also me. And some people are phone call people. They're very relationship based. They want to hear about you and your kids and your dog and your husband and blah, blah, blah. And then they can move forward into the business portion of things. They do best with verbal communication. And then some people are in-person meetings. So really understanding what that person needs. We have clients that never want to hear from us. Great. You'll never hear from us. We have clients that want to hear from us all the time. Happy to send you a weekly email. So definitely those parts are key. It's also speaking the language that they understand. And I don't mean Spanish versus English. What I mean is, are they somebody that wants the big $50 words? Are they somebody who hates the $50 words? Do they understand what you're selling them in a way that you understand it, or do you need to be explaining things in a different kind of way? And that's not saying somebody's dumb or smart or whatever, but I don't know how to plumb a faucet. So if you're going to explain to me about the plumbing in a way that a plumber understands it, I'm not going to understand what you're talking about. I need you to explain to me as somebody who's buying the service and really doesn't want to learn how to plumb a faucet. So those skills, those soft skills that are often overlooked with professional development, with hiring, et cetera, are really key to that long-term success between your staff and your clients and serving the client in, whatever they're buying from you.
Love that. Mic drop. Actually, don't. They're very expensive.
And actually, to get back to what I was saying earlier about this $30 a month course package, that, again, we are not sponsored by them. This is just something I had used earlier in my career, probably like 15 years ago. I used this website, just a quick search on their business section. And I found for $14.99 for the course, it has 20 lectures. It's the customer : how to understand their needs.
That's awesome.
I'm like, why isn't every company having their staff take this kind of class? It's, a $15 investment because it's on sale right now.
Oh, baby. I do love a discount.
I do love a sale. I love a sale.
I'm allergic to full price. So everything you're saying is great. Here's another thing to just add to that: role playing. If someone on your team is learning a new skill about how to meet someone where they are, communicate in a language style or communication style that's not really natively theirs, it's good to practice with your team instead of practicing on the client. It's kind of like, the first time when you go in a sales setting, you don't want to practice on your prospect because you're probably going to butcher it. You want to practice in a safe setting where it's okay if you fail. So practicing is really great. And I think it really makes a huge difference. It's funny, you were talking about the plumbing a faucet. I also don't necessarily need to know that. But great example is if someone is trying to sell me something, I know that people don't understand communication styles or learning styles very well, and they're not going to ask me. So I have learned to be very upfront about these things. And I say, I appreciate you telling me all of these numbers verbally. It's like Teflon up in my head. It is not sticking and there is nothing happening here. So if you want me to really learn this, other than being like, ooh, then you'll email it to me so then I can look at it and be like, oh, okay, cool. It's definitely good to have skills with your team of not just the communication styles and not just the decision-making preferences, the platinum rule, all of these wonderful things that we've been talking about, but how to meet people where they are. I mean, Julia, I love that you brought that up because it's so huge. I mean, communication volume, important, tone, important. Those things really, really matter, like a lot. And how to assemble a report. I mean, I could do a report for like every different personality type out there.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how they learn and what they want. Some people are numbers driven. Some people are words driven. Like if you can teach your team to be really good at identifying what someone needs and then meeting that need and meeting them where they are, I think you're going to crush it.
Right. It's, we have a client that we've had for a number of years who I really knew was numbers driven, even though his business didn't seem like he was. It's, a softer business. But he didn't say anything for about a year. And then he was like, I really want to know the ROI. And I was like, you got it. You're getting monthly updates with numbers, bullet pointed. It is a 2-paragraph email. This is what this did. This is what this did. And if you're interested in more data, there's screenshots below. I am telling you that has elongated the relationship by years because he understands the value of what we provide in a way he can understand it. That matters to him. It is huge.
I love that. Well, thank you for doing that so we can keep our client for a very long time and make sure they're happy. Happy matters. Well, anyhow, this is a great subject. I mean, I love all these subjects. I mean, I come up with them. So I'm the program director.
We all wear many hats.
Oh, I got a lot of hats. They're all, I feel like I just get tiny little hats stuck to my head. I'm starting to look like a porcupine.
I was explaining my role to somebody recently and they're like, whoa. And I was like, yeah, I know. I am aware.
Yeah. I like it that way though, frankly, because, it gives us zero reason to ever be bored.
Yes, it definitely, going back to personality types, you have to have the right personality to lead a business. You have to like doing lots of different things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's something where after 25 years of this, I really still love it. I love the evolutions that we've been just doing and living through, going through COVID. Didn't particularly love that one, but I love all the stuff that came out of it. Like, hello, Zoom meetings, looking at you. Like, I don't even need to wear hard pants ever again. This is so good.
Team soft pants all day. All day. If you are watching this on video on YouTube and you are a dedicated viewer of our antics, I am sure at some point one of us stood up and you could see that we're wearing a very nice top with very nice jewelry and busted ass sweatpants on the bottom because we subscribe to the business mullet. Business on top, comfy on the bottom. You're dying. I know. Laura is dying, and that's why she's not on mic at the moment.
The business mullet. Oh.
That is a Julia Becker Collins trademarked term.
Nice. Hey, I'm your biggest fan, so I'm all about it. Thanks for that.
No problem.
Thank God. Listen, you guys, thanks for listening to this show. Like, sometimes I swear to God, we should just like hit record when we're just doing our green room garbage. And it's just,
I know.
It might actually be better than the show. I don't know. It's just rambling on about dumb crap and hard pants and, whether or not there was vodka mixed with kombucha. I don't know. You can't work together this long and not have a genuine friendship and enjoy each other's company. So
Absolutely.
Hats off to you, senorita. Work wife. All right, let's put a bow on this sucker. Listen, you've got your homework. Like, subscribe, rate, review. What else is on the list? Go sign up for email.
Share.
Yes, sharing is caring. What else? Oh, yeah. Go to vision-advertising.com. Get your filthy mitts on that free email, and you can sign up with us to get a free look at your marketing plan. If it stinks, we'll tell you. If it's great, we'll tell you. But if you need some help, we're always here. We'll see you in the next episode. It's going to be a good one. And if not, my name is Mud. Bye.